Alright, Curious Cats. And I am Curious Alley Cat. And I talk about a few different topics. Some things to do with astral projection and other various things. So yeah, stick around, grab yourself a drink, put your feet up and relax. So, the topic of conversation today is going to be astral projection, astral travel, that sort of thing, and my new astral travelling experience, the most recent one. So yeah. Really need that drink. So what it is, I'll explain what happened in my astral projection. I have seen this place before, but from the outside, not from the inside. Basically, I've seen this place before. So, and I've explained this place before in another video lower down somewhere. So you have a look at that. But I didn't realise it was the same. I feel like it was the same area, but I didn't realise that until either later on during my astral travel or when I came out of it. So I was at this place where there was this sort of very dark black mountain, and in front of it was like a river, a lake or a sea, and I wasn't too sure what it was at the time, and it was a black kind of mountain, and it had like green, very dark green black, but it had like a green like mountain tops, and I was sort of hovering above it, and the water was really dark at the time, and it felt like a nighttime or a nighttime kind of energy, although I don't believe in time as such, but I might get to that another day. So this mountain, so this time I was sort of above, like at the top of this mountain, like kind of standing over it, and I was me, but again in another being, in another body, or whatever the case may be. I was at the top of this mountain, and in the middle I was looking down, and there was water in the mountain, and the mountain itself was a dark crystal cave mountain. Now I can't explain how that looks, but from the outside, like I said, it was like a dark black, dark grey, dark green colour, and then at the top it was like almost like an emerald green and other types of green, but quite a dark green and quite emeralds. And at the top of this mountain it was kind of a green, and it was kind of shimmery in places and kind of sparkly. And I looked down and I saw water, and the water was moving in a figure of 8 kind of wave. And this figure of 8 kind of water, like an infinity symbol kind of movement, it was inviting me to like jump in, but it was so dark, the water, and it almost like twinkled like stars. And I kind of heard a voice or an intuition or a clairaudience voice. I don't know if it was coming from me or somebody else or something else, should I say. But it kept telling me, it was like, jump in and you'll see, and you'll be fine. Just jump in. It's lovely once you're in there or something. I was like, oh, I don't know, because it was like really dark, almost like a nighttime sea. And you know how dark the sea can look, and the waves are coming. Like, it wasn't scary, the feeling of this place that I was at. I didn't feel scared, but I was just like, well, I'm going to just dive into the middle of this current, this water. And they were like, yeah, just do it, just do it. I was like, fuck it. I did it. I dived in. And I realised, though, when I was standing on the rock, the crystal rock, just before jumping in, my being was... it felt like a feminine energy, although I'm not too sure exactly what I felt like, but it was almost like the side of me had almost like a fin type lacing, like growing and constantly moving down my whole body and down my face. And that was also like a green, and almost like a green gold, because there were flecks of like gold in parts of the screen, and flecks of other colours too, like blue or even purple. Anyway, so I dive in, and at first I'm like, whoa, and it was all like a sea of stars, like a very dark sea. And I was just like, I just went like I was swimming kind of thing, but then I went underwater, and as I was going underwater, my legs and this sort of shimmery green tail was forming, and it was almost like we're ever changing all the time in these dimensions, and even now, but we just don't realise it until you feel it and you see it. And it was almost like I was transforming into a mermaid once again. And I've had an astral travel being mermaid before, or a mermaid alien, or a mermaid robot. I'm not too sure, like AI, what I was. Almost like a mermaid alien. Now this time, whilst I was diving under and I was getting deeper and deeper, I could feel my head, and my hair it had tentacles, almost like dreads, but not dreads, but yeah, sort of like dreads, but they were also like octopus-y looking, or something like octopus-y, squiddy looking tentacles coming from my hair, and it was quite long. And these alien mermaid, what I was being was like beautiful, like everything is energy and connection, and nothing is necessarily, it's not relate when you're there, when you're in these like caves or in this water or by these trees or by this place, this multi-universe, parallel universe, multi-dimensional place. Everything is energy. That's all it is. It's like energy and connection and connecting to your higher self, and that's how I feel it is. I was diving in, I went down, and I was sort of in this sea like river, and it was like a cave, and the water had like green, it was mirroring the colour of the rocks, like the rocks the colour of the rocks was reflecting in the water. And I felt fine, and I felt safe, and I felt comfortable, and I was breathing and living and breathing under the water. I was under the water, and it was like a cave. And I sort of felt other beings there, either on the side or in the water. And I came to an area which was like a rock cave. You could get out if you want to, and if you get out the water, they go back to like some sort of like legs. But you could swim under the water with your legs, or your legs would turn into fins like a mermaid, and sort of like a tail with these like tentacles. And the tentacles had energy. They would pick up energy, read energy, they would know stuff. And it's almost like shape shifting through this world, through the universe, through this place, through these caves, through this water, wherever you are, you're like almost like shape shifting to the environment that you're in. So it doesn't matter, you can breathe in the water and you can breathe out the water. I end up in this sort of like cave, I don't know how you call area, and it was almost like you could sit there, and it looked a bit like a throne, but it was shaped out of the crystal rocks, and this area like kind of became more purple, and there was an area of water which was like a whirlpool, and that part was sort of more purple. And if you chose to actually allow yourself to let go and go into the purple current, that would like swirl almost like a bit like a twister but underwater. But it wasn't like really, it was strong but not scary, like you'd go under there. And it's like knowledge, I can't explain it, and it was like this purple amethyst kind of colour of water. And all the water kind of was connected to the stars in the sky and the stars in the water, because the water's also twinkling itself. And it's all energy, and your antenna or your sort of tentacles pick up energy through other beings, through everything around you, and it's almost like you're connected to the nature, and you're also connected to the crystals, and you're connected to the water and the rocks and the other living creatures, or the sea life, or the seaweed. Because I remember like eating, I was down there and somebody offered me seaweed or some kind of thing like similar to seaweed, and I ate it, and it was really like nurturing and nourishing and good for you. I can't even explain. It was like really yummy, but it was seaweed. I'm sure it was seaweed, or like seaweed, something like that. It was like an edible plant, sea plant. I get down there and I go left, or it felt like I was going left, into this other cave underwater, and I could literally see cities, like buildings, and this part was a bit more like green, but then it went into blue and aqua and kind of turquoisey and kind of like white light again. And I saw these structures which were almost like bones. I don't know what it is made out of, but they're structures like windows and archways and buildings, and almost like a tower under the water. And in this tower you could look through these like windows, but the windows weren't closed as such. Everything indoors is outdoors, everything is nature. So in the caves everything is open, like you could look up and you can still find gaps, like you can see the sky, and the sky is always connected to the water and the crystals and everything and the stars. I was in this cave, and I swam inside this it's snowing again. I was inside this, I can't explain it. I'm seeing, you know, the Lord of the Rings, where the elf people live in those sort of white or off-white, like cream coloured palaces, or the labyrinth where the Goblin King's like castle or tower has all these different levels. It's a bit like that with different levels, but it's like crystals, and it's like structures where merpeople or other creatures or aliens would stay. And it had, I don't want to even say furniture, it wasn't furniture, but it was like a building inside the water, and it was really beautiful. And I came across this like room. It was a massive, vast room, and the stone kind of looked a bit like marble or granite, And the structure of the stone or the floor and the sides and the thing was really big. It was like a huge place. And then there was another room. You would swim more. It was like indoors and outdoors. It's like the same thing. And this other room was like a dome. And it was blue. It was like a blue crystal. Now I'm trying to explain the colour of this blue. It was like cross between royal blue and another type of blue. But I cannot explain this blue. But I'm going to have to look it up. And if I remember the colour of this blue or the colour of this crystal, because it was definitely a crystal dome, and these crystals were coming down all around, and it felt like you could go in there to meditate. I mean, you can meditate anywhere in these places, and everything is energy. Everything is like healing or helping you heal a certain part of yourself so that you can let go and transition into different beings. And yeah, just connect to yourself more and maybe other beings as well. But there was a part when I was inside this cave like structured building, which was almost like skeletal, like bones, like a structure, like I can't even explain how it looks, but it looks like a palette, like a tower, but it's a nice feeling. And it had like these windows, but everything is sort of shaped in a really I don't know, in a sort of ancient, I can't explain, like arches and stuff like that. And then I saw like these shell, like not even shell, I don't know what it was, but books were coming down and scrolls, and they were opening up, and it had like messages in there, and these books would kind of be coming down, or at least it looked like books to me, and scrolls, and there was energy through the books as well, like tablets, like books. I can't even explain it, and you could just absorb the energy, what it's saying in the moment, almost like photographic memory or something like that, and you're remembering who you are, because this part like opens up and everything kind of goes through your body and into your tentacles, or they were like octopus, they were like what do you call them, like tentacles coming through your hair, and your head and your third eye it has energy, and everything gets absorbed, and you can just feel other people's energy, and you can feel other people's energy that you know, or even that you don't know, here on earth. So it's like you just know, it's just, you know. But it was really beautiful, and I just wanted to share that. And has anybody else experienced something like this? And let me know in the comments or whatever what you have experienced while you have astral travelled, astral projected, or whatever it is. There was more to it. And that blue cave like dome room, and it had like a pattern on the floor, very similar to, you know, like the flower. It had these patterns on the floor, and you know, like the flower of life or something like that, and it all had energy, like everything was alive, everything was like electricity or energy, but not fake. It was all natural, and you could read these books, and you could read the energy off the crystals, and it was really healing, really beautiful, and I can't even explain it. So yeah, that's the end of my video. Let me know about your astral travel, astral projection experience, and yeah, have a nice day and see you next time. Bye.